My next patron question is from Morgan, who wants me to compare two movies released in the same year that had American superstars learn about Eastern culture and mysticism. The year 1986 gave us two eerily similar action-packed features, John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China and The Golden Child. Both hold similar themes of fantasy and an equal blend of comedy. They even have a faithful cult following. The more curious element is how Carpenter nearly directed Golden Child and got the production of Little China done quickly to avoid competition. I'm curious to know which one you enjoy more. It is fascinating how closely these were released to each other and how much the filmmakers knew of the other's existence. An additional note is that both feature James Hong and Victor Wong in prominent roles. I think both have plenty of merits, but if I have to pick a preference, I'm going to say Big Trouble in Little China, but only slightly. John Carpenter definitely brought his love for kung fu movies into the film, while also subverting the action films of the era in many ways. When the movie begins, Kurt Russell's Jack Byrne seems like he will be the main hero, the charming American who saves the world and his friends with his smarts. The poster even has him front and center, selling the idea he will be a cool action hero, like the sort Schwarzenegger and Stallone were playing at the time. Instead, he's kind of a buffoon who constantly has one mishap after another happen to him, while the real impressive fighting moves come courtesy of Dennis Dunn's restaurant proprietor and his friends. It's a clever switch from what usually happens in American movies or television shows of this sort, where the Asian characters are often relegated to being sidekicks. Big Trouble in Little China has a good sense of humor, adding to its entertainment value, and the fight scenes are all well choreographed. James Hong's David Lo Pan makes for a memorable villain, and the special effects more than do the job of portraying the magical goings-on that happen. By the end of the movie, you do get to know these characters and enjoy their presence. With The Golden Child, the central hero is the wisecracking American, but thanks to Eddie Murphy, it becomes a likable escapade. Although I think it's important to know that this is more of a fantasy adventure with some comedic elements rather than a full straight-up comedy. Murphy certainly provides plenty of humor, with the funniest parts coming from his time in Tibet, but we also see how he takes his job of finding missing youngsters seriously. Also along for the ride is Charlotte Lewis, who informs him of the kidnapped Golden Child, and I thought they developed a nice bond. Lewis brings a sweetness to the role, even if the romantic attachment formed between them seems to come out of nowhere. Charles Dance also does solid work as the main villain, and there's a particularly good scene where he messes with Murphy's reality. The Golden Child employs a number of special effects, with a highlight coming from the titular child animating a Pepsi can and making it perform a tap dance routine. There's definitely an 80s feel to the fantasy elements, and these add a certain charm to the movie too. Apparently, Eddie Murphy was disappointed with the final film and does not think much of it, but I find The Golden Child does its job well enough. It's a more nuanced performance from Murphy and showed he could still be an engaging presence even when not cracking jokes through the entire runtime. I was happy to finally give this one a look recently. Now let me know in the comments whether you prefer Big Trouble in Little China or The Golden Child, and thank you for your question, Morgan.